So let's wait for this navigator. Okay. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a lifted Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4XE. Before we get into this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to Darren Dunn that works at the Larry H. Miller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah, for giving me some time with his personal Jeep. So if you're looking for a new Jeep, just ask for Darren. I'll include a link to the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler and Sandy's website in the description down below, so then you can contact him. But like, he knows everything about Wranglers. He's actually one of the people that convinced me to personally purchase a Wrangler, so he's definitely he's the Jeep guy. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyways, as always, before we get into the video, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's jump into it. So first off, if you don't know about the 4XE powertrain, it is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and a hybrid system. Total system output is 375 horsepower and then 470 pound-feet of torque. And with a stock Rubicon, you can get over 20 miles of full electric driving range. Now, before we move deeper into the review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, touching base on a few more 4XE items, blue is the color for 4XE, so you'll see it there in the center on the Rubicon logo, on the tow hooks. And another thing with the 4XE is this is your little charging port, again, for the full electric driving. And then you guys can see with the rest of the badges, blue accenting, and that's important for a little bit later. And the other thing that I want to mention is I love the spec on this particular Wrangler with the purple and the blue. I know that some people might think that the colors clash, but I think this looks so cool because you got like the satin black front grille and everything, and it works. And well, if you guys don't know Mr. Darren, he does a lot of off-roading, so that's why he's got the steel bumper group, and you guys can see the bar he's added on the top too. And because he does a lot of off-roading, he's got 37s mounted on 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. Now, this wheel setup isn't complete. He's actually going to add some rings. Now, he's debating between doing purple or blue, so you guys should comment down below if he should do purple or blue. I told him he should do blue because I think that, I don't know, it would just kind of add to like the blue-purple theme this already has. But yeah, really solid setup for off-roading. And we'll kind of see how these perform, but you know, mud terrain tires sometimes tend to be a little bit noisier. That is one thing to mention. Now, this has the 3-inch AEV lift kit. So this is actually the setup I'm going to be adding to my Wrangler in the very near future. But you guys can see the Bilstein shocks, and notice the blue accenting on everything, including the springs, because again, this is a 4XE. This is specifically made for the 4XE, and this is something that's very important to mention because a lot of aftermarket companies will make lift kits that are just kind of like for every single Wrangler. It's not specific to the different powertrains, whereas AEV has calibrated this perfectly for the 4XE powertrain, and they give you blue springs to show that. And then it's kind of hard to see because the lighting's really crappy, but we also got a steering stabilizer added as well. And for those of you wondering, yes, you still have the RT suspension in the back, and look, blue shocks in the back. Even though you're probably never going to see that, they still do it. And when you put it all together, a Wrangler on 37s always just looks so cool. But here's the deal. This is a Wrangler on 37s that actually drives really well. And I'll show that to you in just a moment when we do the driving portion. But just take a moment to appreciate the purple goodness happening here. And for those of you wondering, this does have the reinforced tire carrier because it does have a spare 37 on the back as well. So here's the original window sticker for this particular Wrangler. You guys can see the base price, and then look at the total MSRP there, $72,365. Pretty dang loaded up. It looks cool though. But obviously, that's not the total cost. You've got the tires, the wheels, the lift kit from AEV, all that fun stuff. So if you were to do this yourself with this exact same Wrangler, you're going to be close to like the $80-ish thousand range for your total cost vehicle plus the entire kit. Now, before we set off, let's quickly talk about visibility. So you guys can see visibility over the hood here. Both the mirrors just do have blind spot monitoring and throughout the rest of the rear. And by the way, I love this interior. Again, with all the blue accenting, it's so pretty. But let's do what you all want to see, and that's drive this thing. I want to mention a couple things before we set off. I cannot go in only EV mode. This is doing a fuel, let's see. Here, I'll press the button so you guys can see. Electric mode unavailable. It's doing like a fuel system thing or whatever. It happens with these 4xEs because this thing only has like 458 miles on it. But anyways, all you need to know is I can't go into fully electric mode, but I did ask Darren a bunch of very extensive questions about the full electric mode, so I can share that with you in this video so I can educate you on a lifted 4xe. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but first off, I want to mention this thing feels so crazy. I feel like I'm in a monster truck, but it's a Wrangler. And I will say initially, it's actually really smooth with these mud terrains. Mud terrains sometimes can kind of be a little bit on the harsher side of things when it comes to the ride quality, because again, they just have those big chunks in the tires. It's actually doing a really good job. Really good torque too. Steering's great too. That's one thing that I love about this AEV kit is when you lift vehicles, sometimes it makes the steering just absolutely abysmal. Like it's just so dead that nothing happens. Like this is still a Wrangler, so you know, there's still a little bit of play, but it's pretty direct for what it is, and it handles pretty well. Now, you know, just like most Wranglers, actually, I was gonna say it doesn't have the top insulation, so you get a little bit more wind noise than most other regular vehicles. It's actually not too bad though with the hard top. And this is actually really comfortable for a Wrangler. Again, for mud terrains, and let's see what the air pressure is. We've got these set at right now. So mid-30s for the air pressure. Now, something I will say is if you do want a slightly smoother ride, wow, this is backed up. I never see this happen before. If you want a slightly smoother ride, then all-terrain tires are always going to be a little bit smoother than mud terrain tires when it comes to on-road ride quality, at least. I guess everyone's trying to turn here. Wow, that is, I have never seen this before. Maybe it's because everyone went on a Christmas shopping spree and now they're all trying to get home, so they're trying to get on the interstate. But yeah, torque's really good. That's one thing that's really impressive with this, is even though this is lifted and has 37s, it's moving these tires no problem whatsoever. And let's see how this, yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, just getting up and moving, that is impressive. Other thing I want to mention here, I know this is not really important for this video, but I still want to mention it, is the seat comfort with these leather seats is a lot better than the cloth seats in the Wrangler. So I recommend, if you can get the leather seats in a Wrangler, definitely do that. And while we're stopped here, I'll quickly talk about the whole electric driving with this. So what Darren told me is when you have a stock 4xe, and this is what I've experienced too, basically, you know, you can go pretty deep into the throttle with it staying in full electric mode and you're fine, and it's able to move the vehicle at a pretty quick pace. With the lift in the 37s, that isn't exactly reality anymore. What's happening now, and that person should have waited to let this person cross, but whatever. We'll get our acceleration, then I'll finish what I was going with. So let's wait for this navigator. Okay. Yeah, that moves it, that's for sure. Wow. So as I was saying, he said that with the lift and the tires, now it kind of just always turns the engine on. Like he says, if you basically get up and you're barely on it, then you can stay in full electric mode, but you get into the throttle the same amount as if you didn't have the lift, and it's going to turn the engine on, because again, it's got to use more power to move these larger tires, so it makes sense. So you are going to lose a little bit of the economy. Now, the rating that you're seeing here is not accurate, because again, it's doing the whole reset thing with the oil and everything, and so until it's fully reset, economy that's showing is not going to be accurate. My personal guess for what this will end up getting is probably somewhere in the, you know, low 20s roughly for fuel economy. I think that's pretty much I would say, you know, a pretty safe bet when it comes to fuel economy. And let's get another acceleration here. Yeah, this thing moves really well. It's so quick. So as I was saying there, I kind of like got a little bit sidetracked because we got to do another acceleration, is you're going to lose a lot of the, you know, EV driving with this if you go for this lift and everything with the 4xe, but it's still going to be pretty economical for like a lifted Wrangler. So overall, I think this thing's pretty cool. I think lifting a 4xe it's a cool route to go. And, you know, you technically can, you know, do the all-electric driving and, you know, still have 37, so it's cool, but this obviously just doesn't have the same level of practicality that, you know, a stock 4xe basically has. And so it's kind of like, I guess you got to pick your poison. Do you want a cooler looking Jeep that's more capable off-road, or do you want to have a slightly more economical Jeep? And that's just always the thing when you lift a vehicle. Let me know what you guys think about this lifted 4xe. I think this is such an awesome kit. And, you know, this is not a paid advertisement for AEV, but if you are going to lift your Wrangler, I recommend at least looking into their kit. And the reason I say that is I've driven a lot of lifted Wranglers, and I've talked to a lot of people that own lifted Wranglers, like Darren, and he will vouch for AEV just like I'm about to vouch for them. This is like the best lift kit on the market right now. Like it's not only affordable, it's just super like quality. And so yeah, check it out. So that is going to sum things up for our video on this lifted 4xe. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Mr. Darren Dunn himself for giving me some time with his personal Jeep. Seriously, if you're in the market for a Jeep, especially if it's a Wrangler, he's the guy to go to. He knows so much, and he's someone who actually like uses his vehicle as intended. Like, he does some pretty crazy stuff with his rigs. So yeah, reach out to him. I'll see you guys.